Good Tuesday morning. It is 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going to tell you what, if you slept in, maybe just rolled out of bed and within the last few minutes, you missed one of the most beautiful sunrise that I've seen in a long, long time. It just lit up the sky. It was massive. Those are the things that you miss out on if you sleep in. So I'd say start setting that alarm a little earlier. That's the time you could look out, enjoy it, maybe meditate a little bit, do some nice breathing. Don't forget, we haven't talked about it in a while, but I'm very big on you setting your intentions in the morning. And then do that triangle of life theory that I talk about, right? Fill in your mental, your physical, and your spiritual side. Whatever is weighing heavily on your mind, you got to give that attention straight out of the gate. I had a brand new life coaching client that I met yesterday, and I taught her the same thing. She said when she got off the phone, she was just the biggest smile that she's had on her face in a long, long time because she felt like she had hope. And her word, by the way, yesterday was happiness. So maybe you could use that, hope or happiness or whatever intentional word you want. Let's start your day off with a smile and with some positivity. Just like yesterday where we featured a beautiful 13-year-old girl, and hopefully you had a chance to see yesterday's show. If not, I want you to go to it, because I want to help her raise an additional $1,000 for what she has been doing for the last couple of weeks, actually last few weeks. She did a lemonade stand. In case you missed that, this is Haley's story that we were talking about, and she raises money for Camp Rainbow. She actually had cancer when she was just a year old. For 2.5 years, she had that fight. She's now cancer-free, which is amazing, and she wants to give back. So if you missed yesterday's show, and I know a lot of you were expecting us to be on at 7 o'clock yesterday, the storms created some havoc here. We went on at 8, so there was a show, but you may have missed it. So please go back and see that, and let's try to raise an additional $1,000 for Haley before she gives that check to Camp Rainbow, okay? Fun things happening today, by the way. It is National Days of. I'm looking at the national calendar, and I was cracking up at some of the things that I'm going to tell you right now. From a food standpoint, you don't want to mix these things. It's National Tropical Fruit Day. Now, from a health standpoint, people always ask about, is fruit a good thing, Monica? Well, it's like nature's candy. I'd rather have fruit than a candy bar if you're trying to lose weight and get healthier. But if you're trying to do the choice for the best fruit, there's a thing called the low and the high glycemic scale. Higher on the glycemic scale is the tropical fruit. So today would be the day that go ahead and have it, like I'm talking about your mangoes and more of the pineapples, higher sugar, but again, better than having a candy bar, right? National Tropical Fruit Day, that's today. World Listening Day. Maybe this is the day that you become a better listener. It's imperative in communication. World Listening Day. Nelson Mandela International Day. It's also National Sour Candy Day. Now, the sour candy and the fruit, they cancel each other out, but you do not want to put this last one in. With fruit, this would be a horrible combination. If you've never had it, today is National Caviar Day. Caviar Day, Sour Candy Day, and tropical fruit. Again, not a good combo unless they balance each other out. The saltiness of the caviar and the sweetness of the tropical fruit or the sour candy. Sour candies, I'll tell you what, people always ask about vices when I was younger. It wasn't the Sour Patch Kids, it was the fish, Swedish fish. What's your vice? Swedish fish. I also love cinnamon bears. You got to keep those away from me. Those would be tempting for me. So tell me what your vice is. We're kicking things off for you this morning on this Tuesday, and we've got a great show for you on tap as well. So we already covered the National Days of. Our next hour is going to be filled with a woman that is the founder and the executive director of Equus Rescue and Therapy. So you've heard of equine therapy and the incredible things that horses are able to do on so many levels. You know, we've heard about children and some of the different disabilities and things that people have, and then they take them around horses. Also with veterans. So they have a Warriors H.E.A.L program. They've got a program that kids get involved in reading. All of that we're going to be discussing with Margo Sutter and Jack Williams. Jack actually is a Vietnam War veteran, a Purple Heart recipient, and I understand he's got a pop-up restaurant that's in the Kirkwood area. It has something to do with waffles, so we'll ask him about that. That's all coming up in the next hour. But I'd love to know, for those of you that are big horse fans, if you've ever heard of this organization. I had not. not. They reached out to me about a month ago, and I'm going to be emceeing an event that they have coming up in September that we get a chance to wear our cowboy boots, which I'm thrilled about. So I want you to be able to be there. You'll be able to mark this on your calendar, give back, come out and see me, see these horses, and give to their organization. So we're going to talk with them, and we'll, of course, also do our 100 Days to Freedom, and today I'll do the one with overeating, okay? Don't overeat the Sour Patch Kids. Overeating will be the one that we'll do today, and we didn't get a chance to do it yesterday, so I'll pull the 100 things to do for well-being off the wall, and we'll make sure that we give you one of those to help you in your journey of mental, physical, and spiritual health. How's that sound? We've got a big show on tap for you. So good morning to you first and foremost. I hope you're having a wonderful start to your day, and let's kick things off. Let's bring our guest in the blue chair. Next, Margo and Jack. We'll be right back. Envita Health and Wellness, where you can feel your best both inside and out. Envita isn't your typical med spa. They're a multi-specialty medical spa and wellness center serving St. Louis and its surrounding areas. They have ketamine for mental health and pain, IV therapy, medical weight loss, and aesthetics treatments. As board-certified anesthesia providers, Envita can ensure that their advanced treatments are provided safely with minimal to no pain. So let Envita take care of you. Call 314-394-0950 to book an appointment or online envitahealthandwellness.com. Welcome back. It is 7:07, and welcome into the Real Monica Adams Show, brought to you by our friends at Envita Health and Wellness. Want to thank all of our guests, and I tell you what, I've been telling you, I'm getting super excited because more and more people are emailing and saying, Monica, I know a business, or I own a business that aligns with your mission, so I would like to talk with you. I had an incredible 3-hour meeting yesterday, and we have a new sponsor coming on next month, and I'll be telling you about that. So super excited. By the way, we have another meeting today for another one. So people are just coming out of the woodwork saying, yes, it's time for more positivity in this world and to shine the light on incredible organizations and incredible human beings. So if you know someone that you would like for me to have on the show, just email me info@therealmonicaadams.com. We've got Caroline, my intern, that's in from Syracuse, New York. She'll be going back to school in a few weeks. She's going to be moderating for you. So if you see Caroline pop in, she'll help you out with web addresses and things like that. Okay? 7:08. Let me bring my guest in, Margo Sutter in the blue chair, and Jack Williams. Happy to have both of you with us. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much, Monica.
Margo had actually reached out to me a couple of months ago, I guess, and was talking about this incredible event that's coming up in September. And she's like, I would really love for you to MC this. Well, first and foremost, I had not heard of them, which I was surprised in 30 years of being in TV and radio that I had not. But let's find out first the background on the organization. So Equus Rescue and Therapy, how long has it been around?
16 years.
16 years. And so you are the founder.
Yes.
So what made you want to come up with this?
I'm passionate about horses. I was in the floral industry, passionate about that most of my life for 48 years, and always had a love for horses. Mm-hmm. So that was my competitive. One was horses, one was flowers. And behind the scenes, rode since I was a kid and loved horse racing. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of my sport that got me really excited. Saw Secretariat win the Triple Crown on
Did
TV.
You really?
I was
okay.
on TV when I was 13 years old and was screaming so loud at the Kentucky Derby. My whole family came down the basement because I was a closet horse racer. And then they're like, what's going on? And I'm like, this most amazing thing happened. This is Secretariat. And I'm giving all his facts and figures. And my dad's looking at me like, where did you come up with this stuff? I'm like, oh, I've been following him since he won Horse of the Year as a 2-year-old. So long story short, passionate about those. And as I got older, started making some more money in the industry, I found out that I could buy a racehorse. And so I found this horse. His name was Sir Anthony. And I fell in love with him as a 6-month-old colt. And I was the first person that got to touch him and followed his racing career. I did not own him. He had an injury at the track that stopped his career, and I ended up owning him before he didn't go to auction. He was supposed to go to auction, and I was like, what's that about? What do you mean he's going to go to an auction?
Yeah.
And he had a fractured right knee. He had basically had broken his kneecap.
Okay.
So he would have shipped to slaughter in Mexico. So when his career was finished, he was no longer needed. And I started getting more involved with owners at the track and people behind the scenes and traveling with some of the folks and finding out why, what's going on here and why would this happen. And as that started happening, I had a mare that I came across that was a daughter of Seattle Slew. Her name was Miss No Account, Duchess. And that was before I became into the rescue side. One of my friends offered, and we bred her to a stallion, and we had On Accounta. So I changed her name around from No Account to On Accounta, and then Artistic Flair after the floral industry. Those were my two, and started in the racing industry. And the next year was notified that there was a situation at the local track that there was no representation for horses to go to a rescue. Then a number of kill buyers were going. Now the kill buyers come from all over the United States, and they buy these animals out of an auction, and they gather up and have a contract for however many that need to go per week. And it doesn't matter if they're miniature horses up to draft horses. It isn't just a thoroughbred industry. It's all horses. 200,000 annually shipped to slaughter.
Oh my gosh.
It's a very heinous death.
Absolutely.
And the meat is toxic from American horse meat because we use phenylbutyrol, which is called bute. We use ointments that have cancer-causing carcinogens. Well, horse meat retains that. So it's toxic. So third world countries are buying American horse meat, and they're finding out cases of cancer, things like that, that are coming about. And it's directly comes back to us.
Wow.
Our horses are not raised for meat consumption, like our cattle, goats.
Right.
Those are all separate. Horses here are raised the way we do our cats and dogs. We don't eat them. They're pets. They're used for an industry of exercise and enjoyment and sport. So one of those sales I went to is what really launched Equus Rescue and Therapy. Besides, Sir Anthony was my first guy. So he's truly he is truly the founder of the organization. And he's a big gray gelding. He is now 26 years old, and I met him at 9 months old. And so by his racing and his life, it really inspired me to get more behind the scenes to start seeing what was happening. And then when I went to the auction, I bought 13 horses, and that's what launched us. And that was as a private person. So I took my checkbook and wrote a check that day for $3,500 to save 13 horses. That was our first group. And that was August. By October, I had 73 in. Wow. Seriously, I rented an entire farm. It was close to $13,000 a month. So I was working my tail off to have a staff and pay for all the bills and traveling and everything.
But because you were passionate about this.
Well, yes.
I'm going to reintroduce my guest if you're just tuning in. And we jumped right into this. I know if you've watched the show for a while, I usually like to get into when my solo shows are underway on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. I really get deep into the topic after talking with you back and forth at about 7:15. But when I have guests on, I want to fill the hour as much as we possibly can with the topic. So if you're a big horse lover, again, if you know someone that is, I ask you to text them or maybe give them a shout out on the phone or shoot them an email, whatever. Try to get them up so that they can listen to this. She's bringing awareness to something that maybe you didn't know that had been taking place and why she came up with this organization. Again, Equus Rescue and Therapy, and we're going to be talking about an event that they have coming up. We're actually going to show you some pictures as well. I want you to see what the state is that they're in when they first get a lot of these horses, and then the incredible transformation. You know, I'm all about that transformation journey program that I started. It's the same thing with these beautiful animals, and absolutely, Margo, they are like pets. They are our pets. I wanted one. What little girl doesn't want a pony when she's a little girl when she's got a birthday party? I also want to introduce, besides Margo Sutter, Jack Williams is with us as well. Jack, you served. What branch were you in?
I was in the Marine Corps. I'm a Vietnam vet.
Semper Fi. Thank you. Thank you to you. And so what years?
I was in the Marine Corps from 66 to 72.
66 to 72. And so we've heard a lot about the amazing things that horses can do for so many reasons. But there's a really amazing Warriors H.E.A.L program that you do. You're involved with that?
I am.
So what is your, if you could look, first let me ask, how long have you been involved with it?
A little bit over a year now.
Over a year?
Yeah, when I first came, we were receiving some Pirelli training from a professional Pirelli trainer here in locally in St. Louis area. And since then, I've become like one of the instructors in basic horsemanship with the veterans program, and also with the volunteers who come out to the rescue.
What do the horses do for you as a veteran and in these true heroes, the Warriors H.E.A.L program?
Well, the story of the horses, especially that come off the track, and the story of a lot of combat veterans is really similar. You know, when the horses are racing, you know, they get trained every day, they get special food, they get special lodging, they get fancy uniforms, they're sent out, you know, to do battle on the racetrack. Then, when that's over for whatever reason, you know, they're shipped away. They're discharged,
Yeah. Yep.
and nobody knows their name. Nobody knows what they did. Nobody knows what they went through. And for a lot of combat veterans, that's the same thing. You know, you go through boot camp, you go through training, you get your uniform, you're sent out to battle. When that's over, and it's time for you to be discharged. That's it. You know, you go out, you're a civilian again, and nobody knows your background. And it's really hard to find anybody to talk to that understands what you went through.
You just gave me a chill, Jack, when you said that. It's so true, and we've heard the stories. I've done the stories in 30 years of the news where I've spoken to so many veterans that feel like they're just tossed aside. And trying to do that transfer back after you have been in what you knew, what you were trained for, and then trying to be a civilian again has been difficult. How has it been for you?
Well, it was difficult for me. Since I was drunk every day for about 20 years until I finally broke through that.
Awesome.
But you know, back when I was discharged, there was no talk of you know, post-traumatic stress
PTSD,
disorder.
yes.
Nobody even, you know, really realized, hadn't a name for that. So we were really, you know, on our own. Plus the Vietnam vets didn't exactly come home to,
Right, they
you
weren't
know,
the pomp and
congratulations, welcome home.
Right.
So it was, you know, that was a different thing. You know, but the guys now, the Afghan and, you know, Iraqi veterans, they're sent back for multiple tours of duty, which is, you know, I think is just, you know, a shame. You should not be exposed to that much trauma over and over again.
Right.
But then to be able to know the horses have the same kind of trauma and to put confidence and trust back in that horse does a lot for the veteran that's in the process of doing that for them.
That therapeutic side, absolutely.
Yeah.
7:18, again, if you're just tuning in, it's the Real Monica Adams Show, and our guests today, Margo Sutter and Jack Williams. We're talking about Equus, rescue, and therapy. Let's show some of the pictures. So George has some pictures up for us of just so we can see this transformation. So who's this right here, Margo?
This is Hot Night, and his owner passed in December. And so he was ridden until October, and then he lost his best friend at 38 years old, his pasture mate, and then his owner at 96 in December. And the family loves this horse very much. And this is Cowboy. Cowboy ended up in a kill pen, and he is actually was a reining horse that slid to a stop and broke his left back leg, and somehow healed himself and ended up coming to us.
We're going to filter through some of those pictures. We have some pictures that are absolutely incredible. I mean, when you were sending me these last night and I saw the transformation, it was mind-blowing. The very first picture that I opened up, I just saw this horse so emaciated looking, and then I was trying to look at the other pictures. Now, who's that?
That's Sweet Grayson. He's a quarter horse.
Okay, here it is right here.
Okay, this is Spartan. This is probably about 2-3 weeks in. This is him gaining weight right now.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
And when you got him, he was weighing what?
640 pounds.
And what should they be at?
He should weigh around 1150 to 1200.
Ugh.
And he was a stallion. And
Is
his
that
hip
tar
bones.
on him?
Yes, he had hot tar from a roof dripping on him. He had spur marks on him. This is with one of our volunteers, Kayla, and you see he's getting the love, and his hair got his hair did by us, and looking good.
And we've got another picture, if we continue,
Yes.
of there he is gaining
how
weight.
beautiful his body is now. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yes.
So that's Spartan, and
Yes.
I went. So we'll say it now, and then we'll say it near the end of the interview as well. The event that's coming up, where people can take part and give to your organization,
Absolutely.
is where we get a chance to wear our boots.
Absolutely. The boots and jeans ball, so it's just what it says, folks. Don't want to make it difficult. It's on Saturday, September the 23rd. Tickets are on sale now. You can go to our website, equusrescue.org, and click on the link and get your ticket. We have VIP tables for 1,000, regular tables for 500, individual tickets for 50. And RSVP, if you can't make it, please feel free to, if you want to donate and support the cause, there's an RSVP form there as well. And we need sponsors for the event.
Okay.
So we have all levels from $2,500 up to $10,000, and that will offset all of the expenses. So 100% of whatever we bring in that evening, our goal is to put back into Equus Rescue and Therapy and its programs. So supporting those horses and Warriors H.E.A.L, Equus Rescue Readers, and our next year kids camps, which are Equine Angels.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit more
Yes.
about the levels of the different programs. So Equus, where did that name come from?
Well, my friend Tom Spalding and I were talking about that, and it's just the Greek word for horse.
Ah.
So, you know,
Okay.
so
Well, 'cause
horse
a lot of us
rescue.
have heard of equine therapy,
Yes.
etc. But when I first met you, so when you first reached out to me, I was like, is it Equus? Is it and then when we talked on the phone, I'm like, oh, Equus. Okay, Equus.
Yes, it's Equus, and it's just the Greek word for horse. So
Okay.
how simple, horse rescue.
I love that.
I know.
And if you've ever seen the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding, it's all Greek.
It's all
Everything
Greek.
leads back
Put
to
some
Greek.
Windex on it.
Exactly. Exactly. Hey, and put that on some of the horses and see if it starts to heal earlier. Okay, it is 7:22. I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, she was just mentioning the reading program. We're going to talk about how the kids get involved. And again, I'm hoping to see you at the event coming up in September. So we'll give you that information again. So it's EQUUS. Okay, that's what's Equus. So we'll give you the information on how you can attend, how I'd love to be able to see you and see these horses and give back, because they are magnificent creatures. We'll see a little bit more of them. Can't wait to show you the pictures of the kids with them as well. We'll do that right after the break.
Carroll House is now the contemporary furniture design center.
We now have the largest selection of the latest ultra-modern furniture.
Sleek European designs, unique metals, bold lacquers, plush fabrics, and retro styles.
Modern furnishings with exclusive collections only at Carroll House.
Plus free financing, free delivery and setup, and free in-home design.
Visit the St. Louis Center for Contemporary Design inside our 3.5-acre showrooms at Carroll House.
Because you like nice things.
You know, of course, it's great to get outside and enjoy the warm weather, but when it's time to relax indoors, be sure your home stays cool with equipment and service from my friends at Aldon. 24-hour emergency service available. At Aldon, it's their commitment to continue providing above and beyond HVAC service for all of their customers. They truly care about the air you breathe. Call them today at 314-567-5585 or on the web, aldon.com. That's al-don.com. 314-567-5585. Bill Monica Adams Show. Thanks for tuning in. If you're brand new to the show, I know every time we have different guests on, I see brand new names. A lot of people saying good morning. We are so excited about the new sponsor. Yes, I'll be telling you all about that. Love the sunsets, absolutely. Sun rises, though, is what I want you to see. That's what you have to do. You have to get up early. Love our veterans, Marilyn said. Good morning. How sweet. Yes, it's Equus, equusrescue.org. It's EQUUS rescue.org. And good morning to all of you that are tuning in. As I said, if you know somebody that's a big horse lover, which I have always been, never had one, but every time I go by stables, I'm like, oh, I want to add a pet. My husband's probably watching, going, no, we have 3 dogs, Monica. You don't need a horse. But they're just magnificent creatures, just absolutely beautiful. What is it about them that brings such therapy?
One of the things I believe the medical community has started to understand, that horsemen have always understood, is that there is a vibration that emits from the horse's body that encompasses us. It's their heartbeat. They can sense our intention 1 mile away. They can feel our heartbeat within 4 feet of them. They have to. We are their predator. Mm-hmm. They are a prey animal. So their survival counts on understanding us, watching every little nuance about our body. But because they are so powerful, we can lie to each other and say, I'm doing great. How are you? I'm doing great. Well, you walk in by the horse and the horse nudges you like, come on. Nuh-uh, that doesn't work for us today. You're lying. It's like, no, I'm not. It's like, And they'll nudge you, move you around, look you in the eyes, shake their head like, when are you going to talk? When are you going to tell the truth? They open the portals of our soul that are shut down, that we will not share with another human. We do not have any control around the spirituality and the energy of what they put off and how that wraps around us. We are just butter in their hands,
Oh,
basically.
absolutely. Well, the thing is, because they are, you just mentioned, they are so powerful. And, I mean, however many hands they are, they're so tall that, especially to a child, I want to show some of the pictures of the kids. Do they come up? Are they fearful of them at all? It's kind of like when you put, like dogs, unless it's a dog that they're like growling and they show their teeth. Kids just want to go up, like we're seeing right
Absolutely.
here. They're not fearful of them at all,
No.
right? Their energies are so similar.
Very, because there's no filter put into a child yet. We teach children, no, you can't hear that. No, you shouldn't do that. No, no, honey, you didn't hear anything from that horse. That's not Mr. Ed. Yes, the horses are the kings and queens of nonverbal communication. Human beings are 93% nonverbal, 7% verbal. It's our brain and our verbal part that runs us.
Yep, absolutely. So who's this right here?
That is Ginger. That's Ginger Snap with her owner, Alex Ross. Alex's parents, Natasha Chikuji and Jason Ross, bailed this horse out of a kill pen situation.
That's
Yes, she's a 2-year-old quarter horse.
And how many horses do you have there right now?
Right now, 72.
72, wow.
Yeah, a little heavy. That's normally keep around 60 to 62. We helped with some rescues out of Mississippi for some horses. And again, just like dog and cat shelters are overrun and overwhelmed at this time because of the amount of surrenders, it is the very same with the horse industry.
Yeah.
And we share network across the United States with multiple rescues. Yes, this is our kids.
So let's talk about the READ program.
Yes.
So you started that how long ago?
1 year ago. And it was Alex Ross who wanted to bring friends in.
How old is Alex?
Alex is now 10.
I'm telling you, these kids, they're going to be taking over the world. That's our future leaders.
Absolutely.
So it was her vision?
Oh, yes. She wanted to bring kids in to read books to the horses.
Yep.
Would we be okay doing something like that? So Alex and Natasha kind of set forth of creating the program, and we said, we started it every weekend on Sundays from like noon to 2. Now it's noon to 1:30. So now with the end of July and school session starting up again, August 6th is our next one.
Okay.
And all they have to do is go to equusrescue.org, or they'll see our posting on Equus volunteer, or Equus therapy, and they can click on the link and book the reservation for free. There's no charge.
I didn't know that you're doing it with horses, but I did a story a long time ago of the kids when they go into like the APA or the Humane Society and they read to the dogs, and it's that incredible connection. What do you see happen in the horses as they're reading?
Well, the children are calm. And one of the best stories I heard last year was a mother that came to me, and I saw her little girl sitting down with this huge horse named Ben, who had his head over her book reading, like with her, nodding. And she had the book up like this, and I walked down to watch and take some pictures, and her mom told me that she had been written off as a non-reader already by 3rd grade at 9 years old. And because they don't practice phonics, things are different the way that we learn. And she said her daughter was terrified of reading, hated it, cried all the time, failing in school. And she told her, we're going to go read to the horses. So her daughter was waiting with 3 books by the car. She was shocked at that. Then they got there, and she's reading Little Mermaid to Ben. and her mother's videoing her because she's just reading perfectly, out loud, confidently.
Tossed aside. Right, we keep talking about veterans tossed aside, these animals tossed aside,
Absolutely.
children forgotten about, told that they, how many times have I told you, you are vital, you are beautiful, you will take over this world, you just have to believe in yourself, and it's hard to do, but look at this connection with the animals. We were looking through some pictures, we saw a picture of a little girl that had a check, she had a snow cone stand.
Yes, that's Alex Ross.
So we just did yesterday about this beautiful young girl that had a lemonade stand and the thousands of dollars she was raising for an organization. So does she do this on a regular basis? There it is. There's that picture.
Yes, Alex, that's Alex presenting one of her checks. Alex and her brother Ollie operate out of Webster Groves, Missouri. If
Okay.
anyone's in Webster Groves and sees our stand, they'll have our sign out there. And watch out for Ollie; he's the ultimate salesman.
Ah, yes.
You will not get change back.
Here's a 20 kit. I need 8. No, you don't. You're giving all of that to us.
He's amazing.
So again, this is Margo Sutter, as you see right here, with Equus Rescue Therapy, and we're talking with Jack Williams as well. If you have any questions for them, or so Marilyn says, I so love horses. Donation made. Oh, good. She already.
Oh, thank you, Marilyn.
You can sign up for a monthly contribution.
Yes,
right.
absolutely.
They are experiencing increased cost for utilities, hay and grain.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your passion and starting your organization. Thank you for your service. My swim teacher loves and has horses. Dan says, good morning. I know the wonderful program he has as well. There are some incredible people out there, and just like Margo and Jack, and that's what I always say is I want to know about these organizations. I didn't know. I'm excited to come out. So you're in Millstadt, Illinois, right? Millstadt.
She is a good German girl.
Yeah, I am actually. So you mentioned how long the organization's been around, 16 years.
Yes.
Have you always been there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and we now have the opportunity to buy the farm.
She
No
bought
pun
the
intended,
farm.
or buy the farm. And so we have 77 acres, 114 stalls, a 150 by 300 foot indoor arena that can hold 20 riders, one of the largest private arenas. So we operate 365 days a year. If you are a life coach looking to expand your business,
I'm a life coach.
using equine therapy.
Which
If
I think
you
would
are
be
a
incredible.
licensed therapist looking to expand your business with equine therapy, reach out to me because we are now booking by the hour with the horses. And again, the medical community understands that what a horse can do in 15 minutes takes talk therapy industry
Years, right?
15 years.
I saw that on your page.
Yes.
Well, I was watching your video, which was very well done, by the way.
Thank
and
you.
I heard that, and I said, "Whoa, 15 minutes."
Yes.
I mean, they're gonna just like artificial intelligence thinks it's taking over. The horses are taking over.
Oh,
They're
let's
like,
go with them.
Doc, I've got this. Yes, I'd much rather go with the horses. What are the ages of the horses that you have? It runs a gamut, I'm sure.
1 to 39 years old.
1 to 39.
Mr. Jingles, which is Comanche, is a paint stallion. And his story, I'll tell quickly because I'm allowed to. One of our volunteers showed up and let me know that she came to die in the barn. She was in advanced stages of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma,
Oh my
not
goodness.
able to get into remission. This stallion was a tough cookie, and the men even had trouble handling him. This woman's petite, and they became instant friends, and she would open the door, put his halter on, and take him out like it was a puppy on a leash.
Oh,
And there was slack in the lead. A man would come get him. He's rearing up and walking on 2 legs, slashing. And they had this bond. And one day she came to me and was really excited. She'd gotten into remission. And she said, but I need you to look at Comanche. So I went over to look at Comanche. And his belly was puckered and his neck was puckered. And he had stocking ups, swelling up. And we called the veterinarian, came out immediately, pulled the blood, stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
oh my goodness.
He took it from her. They remained 8 years later, battling cancer, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma together. She buys his chemotherapy pills for him. He takes those twice a day. And she is still thriving, and he is still thriving at 39 years old.
Oh my goodness, that's an incredible story.
He was one of our worst starvation cases too, Monica. He was locked into a building, 112-degree heat in 2012, and there were 4 horses that came out of that. And 3 were stallions, and one Comanche has a daughter. His daughter was part of that group, and she serves in therapy now as well. That's Paloma. So Comanche weighed probably around 450, 500 pounds, and now he's about 1,100 pounds. So he's a smaller horse. Magnificent guy, though. Amazing.
So you have come a long way in 16 years, and more people are getting to know you. Obviously, there's still a lot of people that have never heard of Equus Rescue Therapy, so I wanted to bring attention to this incredible organization. So do people just want to go, oh my gosh, I just want to come out and see these magnificent horses,
You're welcome
and
to.
then ask to do volunteerism, right?
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
I know you need, yeah, that's what Jack wants to say.
More.
Jack, please, we need more help. So let's talk more about that, the volunteer aspect. You have how many volunteers right now, Jack?
I think there are, Margo knows the number.
It's actually 60 that are signed
Oh.
up, but active duty is not.
Okay.
Because it's tough. It's hard work. It's hardcore farm work.
And it's during the week, morning and afternoon feeding. So it's, it's difficult for people who have regular jobs to come out and do that.
Sure.
So that number doesn't reflect really how many people, show up. Sometimes we're going to have one person on to feed in the morning because somebody had to, do something else.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's 2 or 3 of us, but that's still to feed and water 73 horses.
That's a lot.
That takes some time, and it is hard work.
But rewarding, as you had mentioned earlier.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The horses are really empathic, and we really have to be aware of that. So you really get a chance to check your own feelings, like all day. Stay calm, stay positive with them. And people, appreciate that aspect of being around there also.
You just said my magic word, right? I always talk about the positivity. We need more of that in life. What do you think, Jack, in the time that you've been involved, is the most rewarding aspect of the volunteerism for you?
Probably understanding the horses. They're so big and majestic, it's difficult to think of them as prey animals.
Yeah.
But they are. So they're constantly on the alert. Ralph used to say, the trainer used to say, they know one thing for certain, and that is that they are delicious. And somebody is always on the lookout to eat them.
Wow.
So to understand how that psychology works for them, and then to learn how you can make them feel safe, and work with as a partnership with people, and not be afraid and aware of them all the time is really, it's really a rewarding thing to see that change in the horse and see that change in the volunteer.
When we're talking about the horses, and a lot of times people, if they've never been around one, they want to be told now by Margo and by Jack, when we're coming up to them, you said that they can feel the vibration, the energy off of us. They can feel if we're scared, right? If we're nervous, if we're angry, all the things that I think any good, if you're a dog lover, they have that unconditional love that they bring you. Mm-hmm. That's the same thing with the horses. How should we approach them? Because we're told with dogs to not come up over the top of their head.
Excellent question.
Okay, what should we do with horses?
So when you walk up to a horse, the first thing to do is the eye contact. And I usually give them a blink and an acceptance and a request. Everything that happens, the whispers in the eye. So you can watch the ears. The ears are like the radar, telling you they're listening, watching everything constantly with the ears, but the eyes are their soul. So when I approach, that's the first thing I do is make eye contact.
Just like you should with human beings. We need
and
better
then,
eye contact.
Then the back of the hand. This is the muzzle.
Hand.
This
Okay.
is what the muzzle feels like. This is what a bear feels like to them, or a mountain lion. So this is, and turning sideways takes the pressure off of them. So a lot of times I'll turn sideways and extend a hand, and then they bring the muzzle in and they touch hands, and then make eye contact. Thank you again. And it's very calming. And it isn't like rushing at them. They stand in their place. They are about civility, respect. They're loyal. They're humble. They're loving. And
they're silly.
They're silly. They are silly.
They do,
silly.
right? They have incredible personalities.
They do. And, just being with them, when you talk about joy and positivity and happiness, that's what they are all about. That's what they strive for. Safety and happiness is that's all they're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, they're
simple.
Misty just said, "Good morning. I love horses. I used to ride and had one when I was a little girl." See, I'm telling you, little girls and little boys, they love to be around them.
EquusRescue.org.
Yes.
Misty, click
Yes.
on the volunteer
Yes.
form.
Come on out. Okay, there. So here's some more pictures of the horses.
That was Ginger. That was she came in November 2nd, and she was in a kill pen in Texas. So she's a little quarter horse filly.
Beautiful little horse, and still in the kill pen.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with her.
So these horses coming from all over? What's the farthest you've had to go?
I've trailered to, personally I've trailered to Texas and Oklahoma. 2 of our volunteers went all the way to Maryland to pick up 2 that were the Amish had in a big kill pen in Pennsylvania.
And I want to come back to something. When we went to the break, you had mentioned that you do have incredible support from the racing community.
Yes.
So in case people thought, oh yeah, racing. Oh,
No, because it's hard. Bashing someone doesn't make a change in anything that we do. And I feel us as an ally to that sport. As I've always said, I enjoyed the sport. And that's what they're bred to do, is to run. There are a lot of great people that are in that industry that want to see that afterlife happen for these
Absolutely.
horses and make plans for them. Graham Motion is a national trainer, and he stamps on all of his breeders' papers, if this horse ends up in a kill pen, call this number. You call the number, it's his wife Susan that answers the phone. And you tell Susan, I have this horse that's in the kill pen, and they will make arrangements immediately. Santa Anita First Racing, same thing. They're huge. 5 tracks in the United States. If any of the horses have raced on any of their tracks, and I wish all the racetracks would follow suit with them.
Absolutely.
They find out they're in the kill pen. They're pulled. They pay for the transportation, the bail, the veterinary care, the rehab.
Well, and that's what, see, any of us that have ever watched, and if you're in love with we keep talking about the magnificent creatures that they are, and just to look at how beautiful they are, and you look at them run, you would hope that, okay, if they're not going to race anymore, okay, great, now where do they go? Right? Your mindset is hoping, oh, they're going to be well taken care of, they just can't race anymore.
And there's not enough 12-year-old girls that know how to ride an off-the-track thoroughbred, trust me. And that's usually what the blank answer is, oh, 12-year-old girl got it for a 100 jumper. No. What happens to the horse that's broken down? What happens to the horse that was too slow? You know, what happens to the horse that's just never learned how to use his body correctly?
Yeah.
And more organizations like ours, because somebody's like, well, what if there was another rescue 10 miles from you? I'm like, I'd welcome them.
Absolutely.
Seriously.
Well, I was just going to say, we need more of
We
you.
need more people that are involved. It's very costly, Monica. As you know, our costs are $20,000 a month on average, just with the overhead of our organization, because we have 77 acres, as I said, 114 stalls. We're able to host 400 people for dinner at our arena for the Boots and Jeans Ball. I mean, we are one of the largest in the state of Illinois and one of the largest in the United States doing equine rescue. And the therapy part is so important for them. We have adopted out a good chunk of our animals, and people say, well, what about the ones that are there now? A lot of these animals have been passed over because they had career-ending injuries, and therefore they couldn't do 3-day eventing, they couldn't do jumping, they can't do reining, roping, because they don't sustain. They become lame. Then they end up in the same situation. So what do we need to do with them?
Yes.
Create more programs.
Absolutely. Well, and again, you've got some, if you're just tuning in and you've missed this, remember you can always go back, watch this on replay, and I encourage you to do so, because we've been showing you some of these incredible horses. We'll kind of filter through and show you some of the pictures again, because it's amazing to see. Anytime I think someone sees an animal, like let's just take the dogs and the horses. They, the manes are all, messed up, and then they're emaciated, and someone looks and goes, oh, well, it's kind of like life. You're judging by the outside, and someone just needs to take some time and care and love, take some time with them and see the potential.
Absolutely.
You see incredible potential, and the pictures have been showing what you're able to do with them. Do you have, in 16 years, and I hate to pick just one, but do you have a story of one that just stands out and maybe brings you to tears of, I cannot believe that we were able to save this horse?
Liza. Immediately, Liza. We pulled 22 horses after the floods happened in Louisiana a few years ago. We pulled 22 horses out, and 23 arrived. They came in a hoop trailer. These horses rode for 27 hours from the time they left Louisiana. They had so many horses packed in this hoop trailer. They went to the East Coast first, and then before they dropped down through Kentucky, then back up into Illinois. We were the last to unload. This horse rode for 27 hours. We didn't even know she was coming. They decided at the last minute to have mercy on her, and they shoved her between 2 horses to support her on this ride. She probably weighed under 600 pounds, an off-the-track thoroughbred broodmare. They had taken acid
that
to
should
her.
be what? This is the thing. When people hear 600, well, that's, no,
1,200,
they're not supposed to be 600.
1,200.
1,200 pounds.
12 on average around a mare, 1,100. A large, thoroughbred mares are tall, like the geldings are. So thoroughbred anywhere from 1,100 up to 1,400 pounds.
And coming in here at 600.
And under 600 she was.
Wow.
And she was our worst case. She had cardiac arrest once she came in. She fell off the trailer. We got her in her stall, and she laid down and to die immediately. And we had warm mash waiting for her, and she just didn't want to believe that she could live.
But
she
you
had
believed.
given up. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And our volunteer staff, you guys have to understand, everybody that's our volunteer has been a professional in some part of their lifetime as a soldier or a business owner or working for an incredible company. They are folks off the street, just like every one of you listening today, have this same ability to do what our volunteers do, have this huge heart and capacity for love.
Yep.
And for the energy that comes off of them. Our rule is, a thoroughbred doesn't quit and we don't quit. And that's what we told Liza that day. You're a thoroughbred, you're not going to quit. We helped get her up, like 9 of us, to her feet. And they slept outside her stall for 3 weeks because every time her body was so emaciated that every time she started to process food, her organs were in competition for digestion that the heart went into cardiac arrest. So we had the vet out constantly, and for 3 weeks we went through this. And then one day she just stood up, and it was just like, I got it.
I've got this. I'm ready to go.
Yes, and now she is 29, and she is in hospice.
Aw.
She is at the end of her lifespan, but she has changed our lives in such a huge way. She's taught us so much.
What they do teach us, if we allow them to, right? If we're present and we open up and we listen. Today we said was World Listening Day, right? So let's listen to them and listen to the horses a little bit more. I'm going to talk a little bit more with Jack. I'm going to take another quick break for you, and I want to hear from Jack to talk to you, the veterans, of why, if you're just sitting at home and again you have PTSD, depression, suffer with mental health, like he had mentioned that he had, and many of his brothers and sisters that have served in whatever branch. I don't want you to go one more day thinking that you're tossed aside, that you're alone, that you don't have a purpose. He's going to try to bring that purpose a little bit more out of you and tell you how you can get involved in this, okay? We'll be right back.
Warm weather, sand beaches, and boats galore. It's not Florida, it's a Lake of the Ozarks. Florida Direct Palm Trees brings tropical flair to your patios, docks, and yards. From a few feet all the way to 25 feet, there are palm trees for every property. Florida Direct also provides palm tree potting soil, palm fertilizer, large decorative pots, and a wide selection of locally grown tropical flowers and plants to add the perfect accent to your tropical paradise. Florida Direct Palm Trees, bringing paradise to your patio for 14 plus years.
747, welcome back. Again, it's the Real Monica Adams Show, brought to you by all of our incredible friends, as you've been seeing. In Vita Health and Wellness Studios, just absolutely beautiful. Every time we bring a guest on, they just love the warm environment. That's what we want. We want to welcome you in, make you feel safe, because we talk about some really incredible things on this show, and we have been since March. So if you're brand new to the show, by the way, welcome aboard. I love having you, and everything on this show has to do with positivity, the mental side, the spiritual side, the physical side, and how we bring that whole triangle of life theory together that I started years ago with my private clients. Again, when we're talking and we're having communication with human beings, they actually speak back to us, and they give us what's on their mind. We're talking about animals who are dealing with being thrown aside, emaciated. Someone didn't care about them. They thought they didn't have purpose anymore. But thanks to Margo, Jack, and all that are the volunteerism and the staff at Equus Rescue Therapy that we've been discussing today, they believed in these horses. They've been around for 16 years, and we want you to know about them, know that they exist, and we're going to tell you again how you can get involved in an event that's coming up in September that I'll be emceeing. I can't wait. I'm coming out actually next month to see this incredible place in Millstadt, Illinois. Jack, I mentioned that there are veterans, no matter what branch of service that they served in, what war they may have been in or not. But either way, it's when they come back and they're transferring back into civilian life that they feel lost. They feel alone. As you said, Vietnam veteran. Thank you, by the way. Purple Heart recipient as well. Is that what I understand?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Look, if I had been there when you came back, it never made sense to me as a child. Well, Mom, Dad, why wouldn't have they been looked upon as heroes? They are heroes. They served our country. But that's not, in your particular war, that's not what you came back to. So you went through some rough times. You find this incredible organization. It's done amazing things for you. Can you speak to those that are at home and in a different place where you used to be and tell them what this could do for them?
Well, we have the Warriors H.E.A.L program, and that is specifically for veterans with PTSD or without, really. We have some active duty personnel. We have a lot of Iraq and Afghanistan. I'm the only Vietnam. I'm the only old guy there. But the Warriors H.E.A.L program is horse training centered. This is not talk therapy. Nobody's going to ask you, to tell war stories or any of that kind of stuff.
Right.
What we're doing is we're establishing trust in the horses and and ourselves. We have that bond that for a lot of people has been missing.
Yes.
Also, if you don't want to be involved in that formal kind of thing, you can just come and volunteer, and then I train all the volunteers to halter and lead the horses, and that involves a lot of the horse psychology stuff of understanding how they think, what makes them afraid, what makes them comfortable, that kind of stuff. And just by learning those things and seeing how that you can change their behavior and how much more comfortable you feel with this huge, strong animal, that builds confidence in your ability to project positive things into the world. Because there's very little that's positive in a combat situation. I mean, you take things, you take territory, you take buildings, you take lives. This is a chance to give and not take anymore.
Right. Did you ever think that you would have therapy from a horse that would teach you so much and take you out of a dark place?
No. Horse was not the first therapist that I thought of. But I tell all the volunteers that the horses are so empathic that they really sense how you feel. So before you go in a stall, if you're angry, you're going to go in there, and they're going to immediately know that and think,
Sure.
What are they angry about? Did I do something wrong? But I know I have to be aware.
Right.
So you'll see their heads go up and their eyes kind of open. If you're, if you're afraid, you go in there. They're thinking, if she's afraid,
I'm going to be afraid
I
of you.
should
Yeah.
probably be afraid because there's a reason for this going on.
Yeah.
So to learn all those things, and then, okay, I'm going to take a little check of my emotions before I go in.
Yes.
I'm going to feel calm because I want to transfer that feeling to this animal.
Right.
That's a really positive thing to have happen between you and anyone else.
Well, I would love to get more of our men and women that have served over to help you. We need the old boys club, right? We need some older veterans. Jack would welcome that, by the way. I'm sure you have laughed together. You've thought they were silly. We were mentioned their personalities are incredible. Laughed and cried together. Had your moments together, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Thanked them, hugged them. Yeah, they're just truly incredible creatures. One more thing before we wrap up and we show the flyer again of how you can get to this event coming up in September. On the video, you mentioned that if someone would be, is it $4,000 a year?
Correct.
They can kind of adopt and come and see them, and they get invited to different things. Tell us a little bit about that.
That's our 60 VIP club. Now the
What's it
72, 60 VIP.
Okay.
When we had 60, not 72 VIP.
Oh, it's 72 VIP.
But
Let's get it to 100 VIP.
But the idea was that
No, he says no.
we need 100 people to sponsor. But we have, we got your 6.
Yeah.
That comes from World War I.
I did not know that because my husband's a lieutenant with the county
Yes.
police, and he says, "You have my 6," which I know is, "Do you have my back?"
Got my back.
But
yeah.
it came from where?
It came from World War I with the way they fought in flying formation, and who had your 6. So the nose of the plane was 12 o'clock. The rear of the plane was 6 o'clock. And so if you had their 6, then you were flying right behind them, and you had their back coverage. Is that correct?
Is that right, Jack?
So when they were taking on gunfire. And so that's where that expression came from. You got my 6. And so horses always have our 6. Do we have theirs?
Right. Don't
And
stand
so-
back there, though. That when you
No.
greet them, don't come at them from the rear.
Yeah. So $4,000 is basically, one of our advisory council members said, if we have these horses, our budget just to feed them is right at $250,000 a year.
Woo.
So if you take that, divide that up between the number of horses, and $4,000, that's basically the hay and grain for the year is what we spend on hay and grain.
Okay.
That doesn't include utilities or vet cost or farrier
Right.
cost or anything else. That's just the immediate need to feed. So if you'd like to help feed one of our special guys for a year, it's $4,000. It can be made a one-time payment, a quarterly payment of $1,000, or recurring monthly donation of $350.
And they get invited to.
They get invited to come meet the horse, take some pictures with the horse, and then once we have a lot of people gathered up for the VIP club, then we're going to have a little picnic, and they can come meet our veterans that are
Yeah.
working with those horses. So, supporting the horse's diet helps support Warriors H.E.A.L for our veterans, supports the horses so the children can come, for equine angels, and for Equus rescue readers.
I love it.
Yes.
So thank you for your service, sir, Terry says. Thank you for sharing such a beautiful organization, helping horses and individuals. I love it. Everybody that's been tuned in. Let's pop up that flyer again if you can, George. We're going to show you the event that's coming up, Boots and Jeans Ball. It's Saturday, September 23rd, and I will be emceeing, so I would love to meet you. I'd love for you to come out, saddle up, and join us for this particular event. There's a cash bar, a silent auction, dancing. Well, you know I'm going to be out there. Dancing. So you can buy an individual ticket for $50. They have tables of 10 as well. The VIP table, $1,000, and that includes 5 bottles of wine, charcuterie, and some swag bags. So the tickets are on sale at equusrescue.org. That's EQUUS rescue.org. I'll ask that Caroline put that in the comments so it'll be easy for you to just click on. And I'd love to see you. Please put that on your calendar. Great information to know about, Terry says. Got your 6, yes. So see, she didn't know either about where the depth of time, where it came from. Excellent information. I didn't either. I just always thought it was a police thing. Didn't know it was it went back to the service. So to both of you, I can't wait to see in person. I'm going to go out there, as I said, next month. Can't wait to be involved in this. Thank you. It's really, truly, it is my honor to be able to do this for you and to be able to be around these horses. I can guarantee I'm going to want to come out more as soon as I see them. If you don't understand how much I love horses, I had horses in our wedding. So that's a picture of my husband behind me. In our wedding, we had Clydesdales that I was in a wagon that brought me up to him. I had a connection with Anheuser-Busch, and my favorite pictures are us with the horses. So I understand just how beautiful these creatures are. They're incredible. Margo, thank you for what you do. Jack, thank you for what you do as well. And we hope we can get more people out to donate, to come and see them, get the kids involved. You said the next read program is August 6th, right?
Sunday, August the 6th.
Yep, so make your reservation on that. Just go to the website, equusrescue.org, for more information. I'm going to take a quick break, and when I come back, we're going to do our 100 Days to Freedom book. I'll also tell you what's on tap for the 100 things to do for your well-being, just some small things to make you mentally, physically, spiritually better in life. We'll be right back. Envita Health and Wellness, where you can feel your best both inside and out. Envita isn't your typical med spa. They're a multi-specialty medical spa and wellness center serving St. Louis and its surrounding areas. They have ketamine for mental health and pain, IV therapy, medical weight loss, and aesthetics treatments. As board-certified anesthesia providers, Envita can ensure that their advanced treatments are provided safely with minimal to no pain. So let Envita take care of you. Call 314-394-0950 to book an appointment or online, EnvitaHealthAndWellness.com. It is 7:58, and as we always do, we wrap up with just a way to bring it all home, right? So it's 100 Days to Freedom, and we haven't done this one in a while. This one's from overeating. We're talking about these horses that are emaciated, but some of you have trouble on both ends of the spectrum. We talk about anorexia, bulimia, overeating. This book is about overeating. Whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. This is from Philippians 4, verse 8. It's incredible to believe that we can affect our future with each and every thought that we have. And with each thought, we can actually change the proteins that make up our DNA. Each day we have a choice of what we expose ourselves to through our eyes and through our ears. They're literally windows to our body and soul. Margo was just talking about the eyes of the horse, the windows to their soul. If we're not actively engaged in being the decider of what we expose ourselves to, we will be at the whim of whatever is on TV or whoever we hang around. For those of us who struggle with food, it is so important to know how helpful it can be to protect ourselves from seeing or passing by certain types of food, places that we find appealing. For example, have you ever seen a pizza in a TV commercial and then begun to crave it, order it right away? Your body is literally having a physiological response to the picture that's on that screen. The body and the brain become classically conditioned to respond and crave that food. Jesus said, quote, "The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness." Constantly check your vision and focus your thoughts on physically and spiritually healthy things. Whatever you think about the most grows. You can't always control what you hear, but you can control who you listen to, and who you listen to directly influences your destiny. And practice saying no to the things that are not good for you. And over time, you will find it's so much easier to do. So today's prayer: Dear Lord, thank you for loving me and giving me free will. I ask and pray for the self-control to stop the thoughts that lead me down a negative road. May the meditations of my heart be pleasing to you. Amen. That is to help you if you are struggling in your eating aspect of life. And I promise to give you something from our 100 Things to Do for Well-Being, our little folder that hangs on the wall. And the last one we had was to remove toxic relationships from your life. I say all the time, remove the negativity and the drama. Today, if you haven't done it in a long time, and a lot of people haven't because they just are in such the immediate aspect of society, if you always take a shower, today I want you to relax and take a bath. You know the old saying, Calgon, take me away. I want you to relax. Take a little time for yourself today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tomorrow I will be mobile. We will be in the Kirkwood area. And by the way, I was telling you, Walkaway Waffles is what Jack owns in Kirkwood. I understand that it is I think it's a pop-up. So check him out, Walkaway Waffles in Kirkwood. I will be in Kirkwood Wednesdays and Fridays, always doing the mobile. Monica, always come by if you want to, right there, Jefferson and Kirkwood Road. We're directly across from Dewey's at Mark Anthony's. I'd love to see you. All right, and go enjoy your day. Hopefully you get out and enjoy it. If it's a little hot, go back inside. Just enjoy nature. Just look outside and take some time for yourself, even if it's just 10 minutes. And what I always tell you, remember, there's so much you can do in this world, so much you can be. See your potential. But before you do anything, be kind. Love you all.